welcome to this episode of Ranger Touring. We're here in Bellthorpe National Park, exploring the tracks for the day, and then we're camping at a pretty awesome hip camp tonight. Bellthorpe's a pretty convenient place to go if you're in Brisbane. It's only about an hour north, just around the Glasshouse Mountains sort of area. So if you wanted to make it a bit of a bigger trip, do the Glasshouse tracks, Belthorpe. You're also pretty close to Diagula National Park, and then you can also do a lot of the Glasshouse walks as well. It is a national park, it's not dog friendly, but you are allowed to drive with dogs through the national park as long as they don't get out. So he'll just be strapped in for the day, but then he'll have plenty of time to run around at our camp tonight, which is dog friendly. Got out here pretty early in the morning and we stopped for a quick coffee at the bakery at CJ's Bakery in Woodford, which was really lovely. And then it's not very far from there, probably 10 minutes before you hit the dirt. And then from there we drove along the main track through the centre, which is listed as quite full drivey, but it's just a gravel road. We didn't even drop our tyre pressures until we hit Beacon Road, which is where we're going now. So that does a bit of a loop, and then you works your way back. And then we're going to take Branches Road a bit later as well and check out some of the lookouts as well. Only going down to 25 PSI today. It shouldn't be too complex for driving. I think it's mostly just going to be a bit of a rough track, and that's about it. The descent down to Beacon View lookout is pretty basic. Once you then pass the lookout itself, it starts to turn into a bit more of a four-wheel drive track, which is really good because it was a bit boring to start with for us who were looking for a bit more of a four-wheel drive track. Lovely drive, just a bit basic, but it closes up a bit and it definitely starts to become a little bit more complex, which is good fun. So we've whacked it in low range and we're just crawling down the hill at the moment.
Hey Cheddar.
Yeah, good boy, good content. We love this.
We're on our first really good bit of terrain. I'm already in low range, but I'm gonna put the locker on this time. There's a big undulating section, and then it kind of turns into a bit of a rocky section. Both of which look achievable, but Chris did lift a little bit of a wheel and sort of scrub for traction, so hopefully I'll make it look a bit easier. Hopefully. All right, we're on hill number 2. Going to be putting the locker back on. This one I might just crawl a bit more than the last one. A little bit more traction, I think. I'm going to drop down back into first. Shut his window up so it doesn't jump out the window. Me to reverse back so you can reverse back?
Nah, I'll be fine. I'll keep going. It's just, you know, you'll bottom out, but it won't be too bad.
Something like that. Am I still on them? There you go. Trying to work my way down this hill to set the tripod up, and it is just slippery as. What a scrabbly rock. Thoughts?
Whether I'm going to hit my side steps going over this, whether I need to go around it.
I reckon just go over the top here.
If I go left here, I'm going to have to stay left the whole way.
Yep, I'll see how easy you make it look, and then I'll make a judgment call based on that. He was a little bit undecided on which way he was going to go. There's a pretty sizable rock on that left-hand side, just there, just in front of his wheel, so he's a little bit worried about hitting his side steps on that, which he does quite often. He wanted to be on that right-hand side of the track going down, or his right. Bit of slide. Well driven. It's a bit of an interesting hill, very scrabbly, and if you lock up you do slide, so he had pretty good control on his brakes then, just feathering them, and seemed to work out alright. For this one I've just got the hill descent control on, just trying to keep a little bit of momentum. The car's only moving at like, essentially like 1 kilometre an hour, but it's going to slide around a little bit, but at least it keeps your wheels moving. So yeah, Chris got stuck. He ended up very solidly on his bash plates. This is just a big rut through the center. It's not hard to tell, but you know, that's sort of the size of the car and big hole coming over a big cliff thing. So he's gonna go back, realign, and then try and straddle this as best as possible. But we're just about on the steepest sort of section of the hill, and it's yeah, it's getting up there. Hard to left, straight. You're probably gonna have to cross over. Yeah, you're good now.
Cheers for that.
It's all right. A bit confusing because when you get to the end of this track, pretty much it goes to this gate, and some person's put up a sign saying no entry from the other side. It is a national park and the tracks are open, so they probably can't say that, but anyway, we have got to the end anyway and heading out. Just come out of Bellthorpe National Park, driven sort of around the western side of it, just working away along Goodler Street. At the moment, really steep entrance, just goes straight up and a lot of fun. Towards the northern edge of Belthorpe is the old Brandon's Mill. Yeah, it's cool, hey?
Yeah.
Gantry, not near as big as the one in Diageo National Park. That thing's like monstrous compared to this one. The road in, if you want to just go straight through Belthorpe, is pretty well kept. You wouldn't need to lower your tire pressure and you can probably cruise along at 40-50 k's an hour. It's a nice area too. It'd be a great place to park up for lunch. Turned off left onto Branch Road, and then that heads along to an intersection where you can either continue on that or you can take Dog Road, which is the right hand side track. You're heading towards the east of Belthorpe, and those tracks link back up onto Branch Road anyway, so you end up on the same track. According to new tracks, both of them are rated as difficult. We went with Dog because according to new tracks, it may cross over a creek, and you know, creek crossings can be fun, so went with that one. Nicely done. is heading down into the creek on dog track. It's the creek's not really flowing or anything. It's pretty low, and then there's a pretty fun climb out the other side. Not too wet either though, so couldn't spin or anything. Just be a nice climb. Locker in now. Let's climb this. So there's a few sort of mapping systems that you can use to navigate through here. Firstly, on the Queensland National Parks page, there is a photo that breaks it down, and it does list these as more extreme tracks. They're listed as a red track, according to the government. And then there's also the HEMA, which has a few tracks through the centre, but honestly, it hasn't had a lot of the side tracks, which is a bit disappointing. Chris has got a Garmin, and that's had some of them, but again, it doesn't really talk to the difficulty of any of the tracks. So it's hard to, again, sort of gauge what difficulty they're going to be and where they're going to go. What we've found though is New Tracks, which is a free app, has definitely had the best mapping so far. It breaks it down in terms of the actual into green, blue, black and red being extreme. And then it also has little sections that are hashed out to indicate steep descents or ascents. So that's been really beneficial, and it kind of lets you pick where you're going and the track that you would prefer to go on. This is Riverdell Camp Ground. It is a dog-friendly campsite, as Cheddar can attest to. It is on the side of the hill, across from a winery, but essentially you're in the area of Mullaney. Each area's got an electric fence around the side just to stop the cattle from getting in, which are up everywhere around the campsite. This is actually a four-wheel drive entry place. It might be surprising because it is just a gravel road, but The hill down the side is incredibly steep. We did put our cars in low range to drive down it. Otherwise you'd be riding the brakes considerably. So it's $25 per person, so it is on the steeper side. And you can also pay for 20 bucks to have a bin dropped in with a lot of firewood, which is that one just over there by the tree. There's a handful of spots up the hill. The best spot is up the top there. You really can't see it, but it's far in the distance there. That one there has the view of the water. We kind of are on the middle ground, and our spot you can see out over this awesome view. Just spectacular. And then there's some ones down the bottom as well, which are nice, but you know, I feel like you'd want to pay for the view here. Hello, good morning. So woke up here and we've had the most spectacular view to start off the morning. When you come out of the rooftop tent, you just got this awesome view of the valley. We're just literally going to head up to Mullaney this morning, grab coffee, and there's some really nice spots up there that have got awesome views as well, and also some really good food. So that's all our plan for the morning is, really. That ends this episode of Ranger Touring. Bellthorpe National Park really was a great spot to explore. Super close to Brisbane, and then there's a good variety of difficulty of tracks, and also some really spectacular lookouts in the national park as well. Camping at our Riverdell campsite was spectacular. I will definitely be back and will be recommending that to a lot of people. If you're a first-time camper and you have a four-wheel drive and you haven't really engaged four-wheel drive before, it's probably a good place to start. You can't really stuff it up. Additionally, you get the most spectacular views that I reckon you can find anywhere near Brisbane. Thanks for watching this episode of Ranger Touring.